The Dallas Stars threw everything and then some at the Los Angeles Kings late, but it's the Kings who survived 3-2, snapping the Stars' 3-game win streak. We break it all down next on Locked On Stars.
You're Locked On Stars, your daily podcast on the Dallas Stars, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Howdy, Stars fans. I'm Joey Erickson, former producer of 105 Through the Fan. Please be sure to subscribe. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for making us a part of your day and making us your first listen. The Dallas Stars threw everything but the kitchen sink at the Los Angeles Kings in the third period in search of an equalizer, but it was not to be as the Kings survived 3-2 last night in Los Angeles. We'll break it all down on today's episode of Locked On Stars. A lot of positives coming out of last night's loss. We also have to discuss the very depressing news about Tyler Seguin. He's out 4 to 6 months as he undergoes surgery today. We'll talk about the ramifications of that. But on the more positive side of things, the Stars do have plenty of representatives in the four Nations Faceoff. We'll get to all of it on a Thursday edition, which is brought to you by FanDuel. You can start the season with a big return on FanDuel. New customers can place a $5 bet, and you'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. Visit FanDuel.com to get started. Well, sometimes in the NHL, you win games you deserve to lose, and you lose games you deserve to win. And that was certainly the case last night for the Dallas Stars, who played about as dominating of a first period as they have played all season. They completely smothered the Kings in the first 20 minutes. They outshot the Kings 11-4 in the period. They outchanced them 9-3. They credited the Kings with one high danger scoring chance in that period as the Stars were ready to go right off the hop. They were rewarded with a power play late in that man advantage. Wyatt Johnston stuffs one home for his fifth goal of the season. Up to that point, the Stars didn't really look all that good on the power play, but Johnston was able to cash in. A beautiful assist by Jason Robertson as well, who had some legs early in this one. Jamie Benn also got credited with a helper on the power play goal. The Stars continued to push. I don't think LA had their first shot until about 12 minutes into the first 20. I mean, Dallas was all over them. The possession numbers were heavily favored in the Stars' favor, and they get a goal late in the period from Mason Marchment, an absolute laser beam off a wrist shot off the post and in. He has 11 goals this season, set up by Logan Stankoven as he checked in alongside Duchene and Marchment, with Tyler Seguin now out of the lineup for the foreseeable future. I really love that line. Stankoven is just a great addition. Really, 11 can be thrown with anybody, and he's going to make his line better. And that was certainly the case last night alongside Duchene and Marchment. But this was a game where it just felt like the Stars did not play all that bad, and LA just continued to kind of chip away. And yeah, the Stars had some lapses, but they didn't get a lot of puck luck in the final 35 minutes of the game. And credit to the Kings for pushing. They scored 3 unanswered. Next thing you know, they have a 3-2 lead with just over 15 minutes to go in the third period. I mean, plenty of time, and Dallas was pushing and pushing, had so many close looks. Dadonov hit the pipe in the third period. Marchment had a great look in tight. Duchene almost went full Superman mode and went right through the teeth of the defense and tied it late as well, as the Stars did get a power play in the final 3 minutes of the game. They didn't look all that great. Again, I don't know what Jason Robertson was doing on that power play. The amount of turnovers he had at the blue line on that man advantage was staggering. He just could not make a play. Could not make a play at all. He was flat-footed, not moving, and his line mates didn't support him really well and really didn't put him in a good situation. But albeit the Stars had their looks, even on that man advantage later in the 2 minutes, and they just could not find a hole past David Rittich, who all of a sudden just turned into Patrick Waugh. He was he was kind of brilliant late, but I mean, this is a game where all the numbers are tilted towards Dallas, and credit to the Kings for pushing, and they scored enough, and they survived. They survived a late surge. The expected goals for Dallas was 2.59. At 5-on-5, it was 1.85. I mean, clearly better than the Kings. The deserve to win meter had the Stars at 77%. So that sort of sums up the night for Dallas. But main takeaways is the Duchene and Marchment line is going to fare fine without Tyler Seguin. And yes, Seguin is productive, and the Stars will miss him. Do not get me wrong. The Stars will miss Tyler Seguin, but they're going to be fine. Logan Stankoven on that line is super good. It gives others a chance to step up. General Manager Jim Nill mentioned that in his interview yesterday, that it allows some players and their depth to step up, whether that's in the AHL with Ritskovian, with Blumel, Hiru, you name it, or it's Blackwell or Sam Steele, who played a very, very excellent game last night as well. Some performances that really jumped out to me. NIls Lundkvist on the back end was so good last night in really all three zones. Defensively, he made a couple of brilliant plays. Offensively, he looked as good as he has all season. He had some really, really good looks in tight in that second period, but he hit Rittich in the logo a few times, but he was really involved offensively. And I thought the Stars' their cycle game was really, really strong last night. They spent extended time in the offensive zone working the Los Angeles Kings and getting pucks towards the puddle, getting in front of Rittich. They sent a lot of traffic his way. They ended up out shooting the Kings in the game. It was 28-17. They were good on the faceoff dots. They won over 50%. They won the special teams battle, going 1 for 2 on the night. But I thought they were really strong in terms of their forechecking, winning board battles. I thought they won a lot of 50-50 pucks. The Kings sort of flipped the script in the second period. Dallas had all kinds of time and space to make plays in the first. The Kings were a lot better the rest of the way. The Kings probably played one of their worst periods of the season. You expected them to kind of even it out, and Dallas didn't have as much room, especially through the middle of the rink, to kind of make plays. And I thought that the Kings adjusted well in terms of starting to close off on entries for Dallas and take some of those rush opportunities away as the Stars were stretching the ice in that first period, really using their speed, as we talked about on yesterday's episode. It's really important for Dallas move the puck out of their zone quickly because they're heavy, they're physical. The Kings forecheck hard, and the Stars got a taste of that in the second period. I mean, the line I mentioned to keep an eye out on is Foegele and Jeannot and Byfield, and they were the best line for Los Angeles, and they came away with 2 of the 3 goals. The wraparound from Foegele in the third ends up being the game winner, and then Jeannot, off really hard work, was able to muster the first goal for LA in the game in the second period. It was a bad turnover by Lindell, and Miro was kind of out to lunch in front of the net, and he didn't make a very good play as Jeannot ripped it wide, a fortuitous bounce off the end wall, and then Jeannot stuffed it home. And then the goal from Edmondson was off a faceoff, and it was just a blast, and Miro happened to be in front. He was trying to tie up Kempe, as he's supposed to, and of course it ricochets off the shin guard and into the back of the net past Otter, who was fine in the game. He wasn't spectacular, but he didn't really have to be, and the goals he gave up were just really funky. It was kind of greasy goals. It was a greasy goal night for Los Angeles, and sometimes that's how you have to get them, and they were able to to muster up enough against Otter, and they got some puck luck, and sometimes that's just the way hockey goes. But it was a positive for Dallas. Really the first time I can say that this season where I feel like Dallas outplayed their opponent and they lost. It stings because it gave you an opportunity to cut into that lead a bit more in the Central Division. You're still within reach of Winnipeg and Minnesota, of course, who are now going through some injuries of their own. So it stings on that front. But you played a really, really solid hockey game on the road. You can't be upset with the effort and with the product you put out there. The process, right? The process of continuing to improve and get better as the season wears along. I feel like the Stars have sort of hit a turning point here at the beginning of December, and I thought they inched towards the right direction, maybe a jump, maybe a leap forward in the right direction in this loss against Los Angeles. The result sucks, of course. The result really sucks, but I thought Dallas was on it. They were on their game for the most part, and credit to Los Angeles for chipping away. Look, Marchment was really good last night, along with Stankoven. Those were the two noticeable players for me. That line ended up with 9 scoring chances on the night at 5-on-5. You know, Jamie Benn, Sam Steele, and Dodonov has been a really, really sneaky good line for Dallas as well. I thought they looked good. The top line for Dallas had their moments. They had a lot of zone time. It didn't necessarily translate to a bunch of dangerous looks, but they continue to look good and improve. I thought Robertson had his legs in the first period, and his game sort of dipped as it went along, but thought he made some good plays early, and Dallas looked good, right? They looked good. It's hard to be negative about this one just because of the way they played. You know, Nils had a brilliant night. He was probably the best Dallas Star. He played 16 and a half minutes at 5-on-5. That's big strides he's making. He played a total of 16 and a half. When he was on the ice, the shots on goal were 11-4. Like that is, 14-8. That is strong stuff. That is really, really strong stuff from NIls Lundkvist, who has, I think, been outside of Esa Lindell the most consistent defenseman for the Dallas Stars. Really, really good night from him. Thought Miro Harley could have been a bit better. Lindell was Esa Lindell, right? Not a whole lot of gripes in this one. Sometimes you just get beat. I mean, what more can you ask for? You outchance a team 28-16 in the game, create a bunch of looks. You had a few lapses, but it's not like it was complete breakdowns. And you lose games in an 82-game season that you feel like should have gone your way. I think that was certainly one of them last night. But the real gut punch of Wednesday was Tyler Seguin, the news that he will be undergoing surgery today and will miss the rest of the regular season. We'll talk about the ramifications without Tyler Seguin moving forward in just a moment. Today's episode of Locked On Stars is brought to you by FanDuel. Get ready to tackle the NFL action with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because right now, new customers can place $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. The FanDuel Sportsbook app gives you everything you need to place live bets on the NFL all in one place. So when you get that hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. Go ahead and download the FanDuel app. Get in on the action this Sunday when you're watching football, college football on Saturday, the NFL on Sunday. Make some money while you're watching the Cowboys and you have your feet plopped up on the couch. Just visit FanDuel.com to join today. You'll get started with $150 in bonus bets if you win that first $5 bet. That's FanDuel.com. Never waste a hunch and make every moment more with FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL. Well, the news that all Stars fans were dreading was released Wednesday morning that Tyler Seguin would be undergoing surgery today, Thursday, December 5th, to repair a left side FAI. I'm not even going to try to pronounce the medical term so I don't embarrass myself. And the left side hip labrum. He is expected to miss 4 to 6 months, which means he will be out the rest of the regular season. And for those of you who do care, the surgery will be performed by Dr. Brian T. Kelly at Hospital for Special Surgery in New York, New York. Not that any of that matters, but there you go. Seguin out 4 to 6 months, which of course really sucks because Sagan's been a point per game player this season. He's off to one of the best starts in his career. He's been so productive, a part of what has not only been the best Dallas Stars line, but one of the best lines in all of hockey. I've already stated this, but I don't have a lot of concerns with Duchene and Marchment the rest of the way. Although I think Tyler Seguin's an important cog of that line, Duchene and Marchment are going to be just fine. And from the likes of it, with Logan Stankoven by their side, they may continue to be as productive as they were with Tyler Seguin. But it does get interesting. Look, the Stars seem to expect this. It's not like they were completely shocked. Seguin, in his last interview with the media, had sort of hinted that this year was going to be kind of weird, and he was just hoping that all things turn out the right way as the season wears along. So I think he expected this, and this was something that just kind of continued to wear on him and kind of continued to get worse, and it got to a point where he needed to have surgery. This is different from his right hip, which he actually had repaired a few years ago. So this is the other side, and Jim Nill had expressed that he sort of knew this was sort of going to rear its ugly head at some point. So I believe Jim Nill has a plan in place. This was not a shock to the Stars front office by any means. I think they are a few steps ahead right now. Jim Nill likes to sort of work in silence. We really had no inclination this was going to happen. Besides, Seguin was just kind of resting on back-to-backs, which you would sort of expect. We knew he'd missed a few games earlier in the season because he was dealing with a lower body injury, but we were hoping it wasn't going to lead to this, and then boom, he's out 4 to 6 months as he undergoes surgery. But I think the Stars are going to be really, really smart about this, and I think Jim Nill has a plan in place. He said they're not going to go to LTIR right now. They don't see the need for it, but I think they will, because if he's out, 4 months, which is best case scenario, it kind of puts him returning around the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I think you could see the Stars possibly using the LTIR. I mean, it opens up $9.85 million of cap space. Like, that is a significant chunk of change to go get some talent out there on the market. So I think the Stars are playing chess right now and not checkers. And it's a great sign because they need some help. They need to bolster their blue line. And now with Seguin out, you have a chance to go out and add you a depth piece. Add you a top 6 winger that can score. And I know Chris Kreider's kind of been thrown out there. That Ranger situation seems horrendous right now and chaotic. I don't even know if you even want to get involved on the business side of things with the Rangers, with what's going on in the locker room. But look, they could be looking to offload some pieces, as that sort of leaked last week with Roope and Kreider. There's a lot of names that you could float around out there. We can get to those at a later date, but I just love how Jim Nill's sort of like, yeah, we're not worried about the LTIR right now, and or just is an opportunity for some other guys to step up. with all due respect, it's a bunch of malarkey. It's a bunch of baloney. He knows exactly what's going on. He knows exactly what he's doing. He knows the Dallas Stars need to improve. They are not as good as they were a year ago, at least in my opinion, eye test wise. That's my eye test. But they have a lot of room to improve. And now with Tyler Seguin possibly going on the LTIR, but right now he's on the IR, you open up some cap space that you can use to be aggressive at the trade deadline, be aggressive here in the next month or so, and bring in some reinforcements to really, really bolster this roster. And then hopefully Seguin is ready to go come playoff time. It's not a guarantee. Like this thing, if this thing stretches out 6 months, like who knows? He maybe never comes back this season, which really stinks. I don't want to think about that, but that is a real possibility. They will know more after surgery today. I'm sure we will get updates at some point from the Dallas Stars over the weekend about how the surgery went. And then when they get into rehab and all that good stuff, we'll find out really what the timetable is going to be. Best case scenario, maybe it is 4 months, maybe 3.5, and he gets back a little early. But if the Stars are in a good position playoff-wise, do they really need to rush him back? There's a team in the Western Conference that has held players on the LTIR until playoff time. Time to take advantage. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So it gives the Stars some room to make some moves. We'll see what those moves are going to be. It also gives some time for players like Maverick Bourque to step up, who I thought had some moments last night. One thing that is starting to be apparent to me with him is his lack of strength on the wall. I feel like he loses a lot of battles. He gets pushed off the puck easy. I think he needs to be stronger on his stick. Something I noticed last night when, on the cycle, I feel like he gets bumped off the puck a little too easily. Needs to have some more strength. Stankoven, for as small as he is, just has such a low center of gravity. Just always is able to stay on his rails. I feel like Bourque is sort of bumped off a bit easier. Like to see him improve a bit more in that department. But you can see the wheels are turning for him. He's more confident. I think, especially carrying the puck, he looks to be a bit more slower, like the game's slowing down a bit for him, which is a good sign. But it gives the Stars a chance to flex. The Sam Steeles of the world, the Dodonovs, who's having a great season, and they will be able to survive without Tyler Seguin. They'll be able to survive. It sucks that they're going to miss him because he has been so productive, but they will be able to survive. They should be, because they have way too much young talent, and Jason Robertson needs to be better, right? Wyatt Johnston, right? They all need to be better, even though I think Johnston has had a heck of a last few weeks. It's really aimed at 21. They need him to start chipping in, because he should be able to carry the offensive load when Tyler Seguin is out. Okay, enough with sort of the bad news last night. Let's jump in to the Dallas Stars representatives for the Four Nations Faceoff. There really weren't any surprises. Team Finland is well represented, and Jake Oettinger will be with the US of A. We'll get into that in just a moment. The NHL Four Nations Faceoff rosters were officially announced yesterday, and 4 Dallas Stars will be representing their countries. 3 for Team Finland and 1 for the United States of America. It was no surprise Esa Lindell and Miro Heiskanen were on the rosters. They were a part of the first 6 that were released. I guess it was really no surprise that Roope Hintz would be joining them, but it was officially announced yesterday. And then, of course, Jake Oettinger will be the backup goaltender for the United States of America behind Connor Hellebuyck. If you know him, Hellebuyck is having a pretty good season, the reigning Vezina Trophy winner. So Team Finland will be well represented by the Dallas Stars, and I cannot wait for this thing to get underway. Let me tell you, cannot wait to watch Miro, Esa, and the boys go at it against Sweden. And I hope Jake Oettinger gets into as many games as possible for the USA. The rosters are a lot of fun. I mean, when Team Canada can trot out Crosby, McDavid, and McKinnon and McCarr, yeah, that's pretty good. And the US can trot out Matthews, and they have McAvoy on the back with Quinn Hughes. A lot of good depth defensively for the USA side. Rowinski, who's underrated, having a very good season in Columbus. Just a lot of fun names. More importantly, it's best on best for the first time in a while. I think this tournament is going to knock my socks off, and it's going to be an absolute blast. Cannot wait for it to get here in a few months. But it's really exciting. It's obviously special for guys like Miro that's represented their country so much in the World Junior ranks. And I don't believe Miro's had the opportunity to represent Finland after his gold medal, his gold medal appearance with the U18s, because he hasn't competed in Olympic yet. I think Lindell hasn't, if I'm not mistaken. Like those are a few guys that have never got the opportunity to represent their country. And it may not be a huge deal for US or for Canada, but for Sweden and Finland. And then when we talk about the Olympics and other countries, it is a big deal. Like, it is huge for those countries. It's important we have this because it grows the game. And some of my favorite memories growing up watching hockey, best on best. The gold medal game, Canada, US, Crosby scored the golden goal. I was heartbroken as I think I was 11-year-old. I was heartbroken watching Crosby beat Ryan Miller that night. Like, those games are so special, fantastic. Remember Oettinger scoring 8 goals in the shootout against Russia at the time. Like, these games always produce huge moments. And I'm just so thrilled that the Stars are going to be well represented, because I'll be locked in on the Team Finland games. And of course, Jake Oettinger, hopefully he gets into as many games as possible. And with the break in the NHL schedule, we'll have some time to talk about it here on Locked On Stars. We can break down some of the games, talk about the tournament, what we like, maybe what's not working. It'll be interesting. Of course, it's a PL event. It's by the Players Association, or NAPA, excuse me. So I think it's going to be a big success, and I'm excited to watch some the Stars represent their countries. And feels like we're all Team Finland. Of course, as American, I'll be going for the U.S. But if they can't win it, then give me Finland all day, every day. As long as Canada doesn't win, really, that's sort of where I'm at on it. as long as Canada doesn't win, I guess they have some heritage to Sweden with the last name Eriksson. But it's okay. I'm switching allegiance for this one. I'll be a Finn. I like Finnish players more than Swedes. So that's what I'm going with. Go Swoomy, baby. Should be a fantastic time. So looking forward to that. Let me know what you're looking forward to about the Four Nations Faceoff. Maybe some of your favorite memories of watching the Olympics growing up. Maybe that was the reason you got into hockey. Who knows? Maybe sometimes that was your first introduction to hockey, and it's a good one. So looking forward to that. Alrighty, that will wrap up a jam-packed Thursday episode of Locked On Stars. A lot of goodness in today's pod. I want to thank all of you for the love and support. I think I've been saying let's hit 2,500 subscribers on YouTube. We're well past that. We need to hit 3,500. I think I've been saying 2,500 the last 3 months, and nobody corrected me. Let's hit 3,500. You guys have been fantastic. You've smashed past 25. Let's get 3,500. We're almost there by the end of the year. Let's do it. Thank you so much for the love and support. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Never miss an episode of Locked On Stars. I'll be putting out an episode tomorrow previewing the Stars wrap up of the road trip against Vegas. I won't have anything out on the weekends. It'll be a busy weekend for me. Got 3 games for the Corpus Christi ice race, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be sort of tied up, but I'll see you tomorrow, and look forward to another rematch from the last couple of postseasons with the Vegas Golden Knights. Have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow. So long, Stars fans.